G'day everybody, how are you going today? It is so very good to see you. I do hope you are super well. Grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, cup of whatever you like, and we're going to go through a few little bits and pieces. And during this video, please do enjoy some vision from the Z6 II with the 1.1 firmware update, shooting at 4K 60p. Now, I shot this on Thursday night after I had a full day of shooting that went from basically 9:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Bit knackered after that. And anyway, but the city was looking beautiful. I was walking back to the car park where my car was. It's about 10 o'clock at night and the rain started to fall ever so gently. So for about 20 minutes, I captured a little bit of what that looked like, and it was glorious. The vision from the Z6 II, even so it is cropped at APS-C/DX, which is a 1.5 crop, the quality of that footage is sharp and clean and delicious. And of course, 60p allows you, in essence, to halve the speed of what's going on. If you want to match it most accurately, you match it with 30 frames per second. It's 60 frames per second. You halve the speed, and that's how you get slow motion. It does look glorious. So please enjoy just a few small samples of 4K 60p from the Z6 II, shot on the streets of Melbourne, 10 o'clock at night, summer rain. We're going to go through a few little bits and pieces, but mostly what did Nikon do at CP Plus? Well, let's talk about it. CP Plus Nikon. It was rumoured, and then it wasn't really rumoured, that Nikon might be releasing some hardware at CP Plus. In the end, we did get an update of our hardware by way of a firmware update. And this is version 1.10 for the Z6 II and the Z7 II. Now, I have installed it, but because of my shooting style, my use case, it's not overly apparent to me yet whether it's particularly different or not, but I certainly was working in ridiculously low light and creating some stunning portraits that you can see right here. Also using the Lume Cube Panel Pro. What a great session. It's the first session I've had in a long time. It's so good post-COVID and then post-Christmas and then post-back-to-school period, which basically makes all the advertising agencies that I work for, they're basically shut during the December-January period. Not shut, but they kind of slow down. And then here we are in February, and I was about to have a massive shoot, a 3-day full buyout shoot. And then we had our mini lockdown, and I lost that shoot at the start of February. And now here we are, finally shooting. Back to CP Plus. So they did announce firmware update. I have installed it. I have used it. I'm not sure what I think of it yet. Not by ways of saying I don't think it's what they're saying it is. It's not really in my wheelhouse as such. But what I can tell you is I've already heard in my comments the majority of people saying it's a great improvement. So that is very exciting on that front. So thanks Nikon for that. What I'm not going to thank Nikon for is, and people say I'm a Nikon apologist, I'm not, I'm just a realist. What I'm not excited, Nikon, is the fact that you didn't bring us any more hardware right now. Nikon, you made no promises. It was the rumor mill that made us think something might happen here. So that's fine. I don't blame Nikon for not doing it, but I wish you had, because it would have been fun. But what Nikon have said is this: we plan to release a lot of products in 2021. So we're here in 2021. We're already 1/6 of the way through 2021. and they're going to get a lot of products out. So I suppose any time now that that slew of products that they're talking about, some of them right over here on this roadmap here, this is the latest roadmap that I was able to get my hands on, things like the 400mm, the 600mm, the 85mm 1.2, the 100 to 400, the 200 to 600, the macros, micros, 24 to 105, so many exciting things. By the way, I'll show you a little update on the screen of where our poll has gotten to. I think we're around 2,000 votes on which lens people would most like to see.
Let's just have a quick look at the statistics from the poll that I put up about a week ago. And we can see here we've hit almost 2,000 votes. I'm not sure how to get more resolution on that from YouTube. If anybody knows, let me know. And what we can see here is that the 85mm 1.2 is still holding at 25%. The 24 to 105, not far behind at 21%. The 105 micro, 17%. The 100 to 400 at 26%. Now, some people have let me know that the 100 to 400 isn't the lens they're actually after. It could well be the 200 to 600, the 400 or the 600 primes, but I couldn't put all of them into it because YouTube only allows you 5 choices in these polls. And finally, the pancake comes in at 11%. Now, what's interesting here is there's no absolute loser, and really 3 of the lenses are pretty close to each other. Really, these 4 are not that different. So it's a great spread of options that people are after, and I think it's really interesting. What will it be? Who knows what the very first lens will be? It'll be very interesting to see. Next, we're going to have a poll on which body you would like to see first.
Very interesting results there. Nikon say there's a lot coming, and well, I suppose if they're sitting here and they've only got 10 months left in this year and they're saying a lot's happening, well, I think that would mean that there are a lot of things imminent and we will see some products soon. I certainly think we're going to see bodies as well as lenses. So that's really the C Plus update. Let's just have a look at the fine grain. In one comment that they've made here, that they're aware that the Z mount has many advantages and Nikon are looking forward to taking advantage of those advantages. So that's basically what I've said quite a few times now, is that, well, the Z mount has the most to offer optically, and some more exotic lenses will come, and they're talking about the fact that they want to leverage that mount. So that is one point that came out of CP+. Further to that, Nikon is stating that they want to take advantage of it and leverage it as hard as they can to create products that will impress their customers. Really, there's only kind of 2 things that they can do with a mount, isn't there? There's what's in front of the mount and there's what's behind the mount. They can continue to create exciting, interesting and exotic lenses, and they can do very interesting sensors that might have some crazy technology, like they mentioned with their development announcement just a week or so ago. You can see that video here. Of course, it could mean larger sensors as well. So really, with that statement, they certainly, from my perspective, can only be talking about the 2 things, lenses and sensors. And I suspect they're planning on working on both of those areas, which segues us nicely into the final comment, which is, as I speculated, the 1-inch sensor that was talked about in that video here was a proof of concept. It is not at commercialization phase yet. Basically what they're saying here is that they will consider full commercialization from now on. They've done a whole lot of R&D, they've got the technology, now they just need to decide what they want to do with it, and they certainly are contemplating what they want to do with it. So they're outwardly saying this. I think it's super positive. And from a commercial competitive perspective, of course you want to keep exactly what you're doing close to your chest until it's ready and it drops in a product. From now on, that's the words here, that's the translation, from now on. So does that mean from now on we might see a product in our hands in 6 months? Look, I don't know, this is speculation. We're reading, we're trying to interpret a translation and what we could read between the lines here. But what it does mean is that is possible. And it has been reiterated that they will have the 27 lenses by the end of 2022. So that's roughly about, I think, another 10 lenses between now and the end of 22. So if you talk about the number of months, that is 22 months. Divided by 10, you've basically got to get a lens out now every 2 months. So that's pretty exciting. Basically, if they do it mathematically and evenly, we can expect a lens every 2 months for the next 2 years. I don't think I could purchase all those lenses every 2 months that fast, and that's the whole reason why lens releases are staggered. There's almost no one on the planet that can afford to buy a new lens every 2 months, especially considering some of these are going to be the 400 and the 600, and they are going to be $10,000 plus. So I think it'd be pretty fun to see a new lens roughly every 2 months. That is CP Plus. Now, just going back quickly to me mentioning the fact that I had a photo shoot and I was out there shooting with the Z6 and this amazing lens. I cannot, honestly, real world usage, whether it's for my landscapes, cityscapes, just shooting as we do on this channel. Right now I've flicked back to using the 50mm 1.8S because it still gives me great depth of field and great outcomes. I just simply don't need the 1.2 here. And if I leave it on the camera there, I won't take it out. So I took it off, swapped it over. Here it is. I'm taking it out. I did some amazing portraiture at night, very low light. Now the full 50mm 1.2 review is coming, but this lens, from my perspective, I've been photographing with so many different cameras for over 35 years. It's profound. It's simply profound. It's simply a matter of, I want to capture it, can I do it? Now you still need to be a skilled practitioner to be able to work in any environment. That's a given. Like I have no desire, I don't have any desire or expectation for my camera to take over everything. I still enjoy the challenge of working in really difficult situations like super low light. That's what I was working with, and the results are fabulous. They are spectacular. So full review on this 50mm 1.2 coming very, very soon, but I have thoroughly enjoyed using it. So there's a bit of an update on CP Plus and what Nikon's up to. It does sound like a lot's going to happen in the remaining 10 months of this year, so that is super duper exciting. I'm very excited about it, and just continuing to love and enjoy using this gear. Just fantastic. And the 24-70 2.8S, that has also been a revelation as well. As usual, so very good to see you. Please, can you tell me what you think of the C Plus announcements? What's happening next? What do you think is gonna happen next? I'm gonna put up a poll as to what camera body do you think we will see next? I'm gonna put that up in the community tab. And please, in the comments below, what do you think? What do you think about what's happening with Nikon this year? As we know, it's been widely talked about that there are chip shortages in the world. Everybody's having trouble getting computer chips to stick in everything from cars to all cameras. So everybody's struggling to get gear out. This is not limited to just Nikon. So if you haven't been across that news, there is a global chip shortage due to manufacturing problems, due to some factory being burnt down, as well as COVID in general and supply chains in general. It's a problem, but everybody's still positive, and I do think we are turning the tide here. It's very exciting news. Anyway, tell me what you think of all of that. So good to see you. If this is your first time, I'd love to see you again, so please do subscribe. Do like, do click on the bell, because that way it makes sure that you see everything. And there's over 300 episodes that you can watch right now by just looking down there. All right. See you soon.